Hey, Michaela, this is Miss Tracy. I am finally getting the opportunity to look at 108. So here are all of the problems. I know you got some of these right, but you were struggling with enough of them that I thought going through the whole lesson would be good for you. So let's look at the first problem. We want to complete the below table by putting in the fraction and the decimal for each one of the percents that are given. So we know that percent means out of 100, so we have to take this number and put it over 100. And in order to do that, there needs to be in a decimal form so that when we divide, we get a real number, right? So we pull up our calculator and we divide that. We're really just moving the decimal place over when we divide by 100 by 2 spaces. So we end up with 0.0004 is the decimal. So that's what we put here. 0.0004 is our decimal. So making the fraction then from that decimal is pretty straightforward. We just put 4 over 1, and the number of zeros is the number of spaces behind the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we reduce that, we can divide the top and the bottom by 4 to reduce, and we get 1 over 2,500. And that is that first fraction. So we do the same thing here. Now, in this case, we have a fraction here that we have to get rid of first. And we know that 1 divided by 2 is half, so it'd be 0.5. So our percent is actually 22.5%. And you can see that if you do the calculator, 1 divided by 2 is 0.5, and we add that to that 22 that's in front of it. So we get 22.5%. So now we do the same thing, and we take that 22.5, put that over 100, and then we divide. So 22.5, if I can get my decimal there, I'll get it right eventually. All right, divided by 100 is 0.225. So there's our decimal, 0.225. And now we take that 225 and we put it over 1 and 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. Now we can reduce that, I believe, if we divide the top and the bottom by 25, I think. Let's see. So 225 divided by 25 is 9. So that is divided by 25 over 25. So that's going to be 9 on the top. And let's see what the bottom is. We have 1,000 divided by 25 is 40. And that's as far as we can reduce that. So that is our fraction, 9 over 40. Okay. Now we have 1 over 4%. So we got to put that in a decimal first. So 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. So that's 0.25%, because all we did was divide the decimal. Now we're going to turn this into a fraction to represent the percent. So that's 25, or I should say 0.25 out of 100. So when we divide that by 100, 0.25 divided by 100, we move the decimal place over, and we get 0.0025. So 0.0025 is our decimal. So now we take that 25 and we put that over 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I know I can divide 25 by 5, and I know I can divide this by 5. So I'm going to divide everything by 5 on the top and the bottom. And 25 divided by 5 is 5. And 10,000 divided by 5 is 2,000. So that's going to be 5 over 2,000. I'm pretty sure I can divide that by 5 again. So I'm going to reduce it one more time. You just keep reducing until you can't reduce anymore. So 2,000 divided by 5 is 400. And I know that 5 divided by 5 is 1 over 400. So that would be the fraction here. All right. So get rid of the fraction in the percent. Then go from percent to the fraction. Right. That will give you the number you need to get to the decimal. This gives you the decimal. Then you convert that decimal into a fraction by using the place value as the number of zeros. Then you reduce that fraction. Okay. All right, let's do the next one. So this says if 750 is increased by 62.25%, what is the resulting number? So it is increased by, so 750, that's the number. And the percent, the original percent, that's 100%, right? Not 1,000, 100. So 100% is equal to 750. So now, that's the first event. Second event, or that second thing, the second number, we don't know. But we know that it's increased by 100, or it's increased by 62.25. Well, in this previous problem, we found that a quarter was 0.25. So this is going to be 62.25% when we turn this into a decimal. So if it's increased by that much, then it's added to that much. So we have to add this to 100%, which gives us 162.25%. So that's what would go here, 162.25. Now we can cross multiply. So we've got 750 times 162.25 gives us 121,687.5. Equals 100 times x. Divide both sides by 100, which just moves the decimal point 2 places this way. So 1216.875 is the value of that we're looking for. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. What number is 15.5% of 9,000? So this one, there was a glitch in the system. There was a box that was not checked, so it was not taking the math equivalent. So if you put in the right number, it would not have taken it, but it's been fixed, so it should accept it and mark it correct now. But the first thing we have to do is convert this to a percent, this whole thing here. So it'd be 15. I remember we already did this one. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. So 15.5% is what this reads. And of just means times. So we turn this into a decimal. That means it's going to be 0.155 times 9,000. And that's going to equal 1,395. And that is your answer. All right, let's look at the next one. We have another table. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Excuse me, sorry. We're going to divide this by 100. 9.2 divided by 100. That's going to give us our decimal. And that's going to be 0.092 because we move 2 zeros, 2 spaces to the left. Okay, so that's our decimal, 0.092. And now we're going to take this and turn it into a fraction by saying 92 over 1, 2, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3 spaces. And now we're going to see if we can reduce this. So 92 divided by 2. Let's see if we can divide it by 2. Yes. Yes. All right, let's see if we can divide it by 2 again. Yes. All right, so that's division by 4. It's 23. 1,000 divided by 4 is 250. And that's as far as we can reduce it because 23 is a prime number. So the fraction is 23 over 250. And this is not anything. It's just the cursor that was already there. So 23 over 250. So now we do the same thing here. We have 86.25 divided by 100, which moves the decimal over to 0.8625. So we take this and say 8,625 over 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. That's 10,000. Now we can reduce that. So I am going to start by, let's look at 75, just because I feel like that number is a good number. Let's try to reduce by 75. See if we can do that. 86.25 divided by 75. Okay, well, we can reduce that more. So let's look at 375. So 8625 divided by 375 is 23. Let's see if we can reduce 10,000. Nope, we can't do that. So let's try 75. Nope, we can't do 75 either. Let's do 25. All right, 400. So if we divide by 25, this is 400. Let's see what this last one is. Sorry. So 8625. That's 345. Okay, well, 345 and 400 can be divided by 5. So let's do that. We'll reduce it one more time. By the way, this was the decimal for here, 0.8625. Sorry about that. So if we divide that by 5 again, we get 69. And we divide this by 5, we get 80. And I don't think that we can divide this anymore because that's 13 times 3 is what 69 is. And I don't think we can divide 80 by either one of those. So I think this is as far as we can go. So 69 over 80 would be your fraction. Let's see if we have another. Yes, we do. All right, we're going to write each percent as a decimal. So first we have to convert this to a decimal. 1 divided by 5 equals 0.2. So this becomes 8.2%. We're still not done. That means out of 100, so we have to say 8.2 divided by 100, which moves the decimal place over 1, 2 spaces. So that would equal 0.082 is your decimal. So now we do this one. We divide 1 by 8. .125. So 9.125. Now we put that over, and that's percent. Now we put that over 100, which means we're going to move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. 0.09125 is our answer. Okay, let's look at the next one. Same thing here. We're going to divide 3 by 5, 0.6, so this becomes 61.6%. So 61.6 divided by 100. We move the decimal over twice, so that's 0.616 goes right here. We'll do the same thing here. So that would be 7.8%. 7.8 divided by 100 is equal to 0.078, and that's our decimal. And that was the last problem. All right, if you have any other questions about how to do those, please let me know. If I confused you in any way, I'm so sorry. Feel free to ask for clarification in class or send me another message, and I will see you tomorrow.